I'm Parabola West, and welcome to my very first Q&A video. Thank you so much for everybody that sent in questions. If I keep getting questions that are new and different, I will keep on doing videos like this, so let me know down below if you want to see more like this. So, without further ado, I'll just get started, shall I? So the most common question that I get is, where did the name Parabola come from? And the answer is a little bit weird, but I found myself very interested in solar power, and I was building a parabolic solar heater in the backyard, as you do. And I started learning all about how it works and how the parabolic curve is what takes the light from all directions and then focuses it into one point. And through that process, I realized that with music, I take my emotions from all of the things in my life and I focus them into my music, and I become like the parabola. There you go. And the West is because I married into the West family. So, there you go. Next question was, once we can travel again, do you ever think about doing live shows in the States? Yes, absolutely. Once we can travel again, I have aspirations to do quite a lot of shows overseas. And in New Zealand, I would love to play shows in Australia, in the United Kingdom, in the United States, and also in Sweden, because that's where my family heritage is largely from, and it would be so moving to me to be able to go there, connect to my roots, and play some music on the soil where my people are from. What inspired you to take up archery? I love archery so much. I have a recurve bow, and what inspired me, when I was little, I got the opportunity to go to a summer camp where I was exposed to archery for the first time, and I loved it. I think I even won a trophy in it because I was so into it. And then I kind of forgot about it, and a number of years ago, a friend of ours came and visited, and he brought with him his longbow. And I got the chance to use it, and I got the bug, just hit me, and I thought, right, this is it. And so for my next birthday, all I was asking for was, arrows and a bow. And so that's how that started, and I've never looked back, and I love it so much. I just wish sometimes I didn't live on one of the windiest parts of New Zealand, basically, at the top of a mountain, because I have lost quite a few arrows. Yeah. If you could open for any band or another singer, who would it be? It would have to be Aurora, because that would be epic. But also maybe Ivor. So they're both Scandinavian artists that I absolutely love. Yeah, either of those would do nicely. Oh, where do you get your clothes and your outfits? Okay, so normally I do tend to do thrift store shopping, and that's where I get a lot of things. I like upcycled items and mixing and matching and things like that, but I also have this amazing fashion fairy godmother named Leanne. Her brand is Red Trinity, and she is amazing. She sends me things that she's collected over the years that maybe need a new life or a new lease on life, and I get to, in fact, this is from her as well. And she also does these amazing candles as well, so this is a little shout out to her. Thank you so much for your support, Red Trinity. Why did you take up singing? I took up singing. We did a lot of singing in my house when I was growing up. There was a lot of sing-alongs. My mother loved folk music, and we would sing along. She'd be playing the guitar, and my sister was also very interested in music and is a very accomplished musician herself. So I guess I started singing though when I wanted to put my poems to music. I was writing a lot of poetry when I was little, and that was the way I was expressing myself. And then I started playing the piano, and then I started trying to turn the poems into songs. And so I really wanted to express my feelings that way. And then I guess I was always in school choirs, and when I went to college, I was part of this amazing women's a cappella group called the Whims, and that really, really pushed my desire to express through song much farther along. What is your off-grid setup? So we are completely off the grid. How much detail do I go into? I can nerd out to this stuff quite a lot. So the short answer is we have a windmill, which provides us with about 70% of our power, and we have 6 solar panels, which gives us the rest, and we store that power in batteries. We have 24 batteries where we store all of that. With the water and wastewater, we have a bacteria farm, which handles all of the stuff that goes down drains, and that then has a whole process that it goes through, which is really amazing, and it involves coconut husks and all sorts, and then gets sort of pumped out once it's gone through its filtration to the fields where the fruit trees are. So that's our setup. Do you use only one specific healing frequency, or have you experimented or dabbled with others? So 432 Hertz is the frequency that I tend to do all of my writing in nowadays. My first EP is all in 440. I didn't really know much about the healing frequencies at that stage. It was something that I was just starting to learn about, and started to put into action halfway through the recording of my second EP. So some of the songs on Purity of Weakness are in 440, and some are in 432. That is the only frequency that I have currently done any recordings in, but I am learning about and interested in things like solfeggio tones, and I am interested in maybe making some music for meditation where I will be experimenting with different frequencies. Also, I am interested in learning more about the singing bowls, the crystal singing bowls and the Tibetan singing bowls, and they have an amazing frequency and sound healing vibes as well. So it's something that I'm learning about still, and it's an evolution in my sound. So yeah. What is your creative process like? It's not always the same, but it's similar. So it'll start with an emotion or a feeling, like something extreme, either high or low, or usually it's, something I'm really feeling, and that feeling will start to manifest itself into either a melody or lyrics, and it usually happens when I'm by myself. Most of the time, I'm getting ideas and lyrics when I'm driving in the car or out for a walk. A lot of songwriting happens when I'm just on my own and moving. So I go for a lot of walks, and that for some reason that helps me with the creative process. And then when something comes to me, I quickly record it into the voice memos of my phone, whatever it is, just a snippet, or, and then I'll kind of hold it there until I can get to a piano or an instrument. And then it usually starts to just take shape. I just sit there and I feel the feeling and I do the music, and it starts just to pop out. And I let it just come out, and then later on, once I think I've got all the ideas out, I start filtering that through like a songwriting process. So breaking it into the structure of, this is more like a verse, this is what a chorus could be, this is how it's going to work. But I try not to edit myself too much during the creation, because that can be a little bit stifling and you get lost in the editing, really. Where did you get your inspiration for Down to the Ground? Oh, that's a tough one to answer, because that song really came out of basically just trying to deal with my shizzle. Like, I was in therapy trying to deal with some childhood trauma, and I just realized that I had to let go of these things that were starting to hold me back. That, we create these protective mechanisms when we go through things, but then sometimes those protective mechanisms start to disrupt our growth. And that's where I felt I was in my life. And so I was visualizing that these things that I'd gone through were like forming this mountain that seemed almost insurmountable. But when I visualized turning that mountain into something that I could just set on fire, and from that fire I would rise like the phoenix from the flames and be free of all of that stuff and just be able to fly. And that's the inspiration behind that. So it's like an anthem of becoming free from your past, or the hurts and the traumas of the past. Which is your favorite song to perform live? That depends on the vibe of the show and what kind of mood the audience is in and what kind of mood I'm in. But, Rabbit Hole always gets people bopping because it's kind of a break from the emotional stuff, and it's like a fun, upbeat tune. I also really enjoy playing Fire because it's the song that is the most recognized. So a lot of people, if they've been to a couple of my shows, that'll be one that they're hoping that I'll play. So those two, it's really hard. It just totally depends. And then when I'm writing new stuff, I like to check those things out in a live setting and just throw some new things in to see how the response is. And that's usually fun because it's like the novelty of, I wonder how this is going to go over, if anybody's going to like it, or so. Yeah. That brings us to the end of the first Q&A. So thank you very much again for the questions. Let me know if you've got any others that you would like me to answer. I will be happy to do so either in the comments or I'll make a new video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, afternoon. Be kind, stay safe, and mwah!